Hey everybody, my name is Dr. Dean here, and this is my great friend, the Worldwide Business Coordinator for Access Consciousness, Simone Melissus.
Hi.
And we want to talk to you about something that is one of the coolest things in the friggin' world. Some of you have probably heard about it, or you heard it somewhere, and somebody said, hey, go to this website and check it out, which is called the clearing statement. And it is one of the coolest ways to change anything you've ever wanted to change in your life. And it's kind of a no muss, no fuss. From my point of view, it's one of the biggest upgrades in personal development since we've had personal development.
I agree. And it's also not about trying to understand it. It's like if you start using it and just see how it just it starts to change your points of view that you have about things. It starts to change the limitations, the thoughts, the feelings and emotions that you have in place that you're like, why am I so stuck? Why am I so stuck? This clearing statement is like magic.
Magic. All that stuff, all that yuck, stuck, and what the fuck that you've been dealing with, guess what? There's now actually a way of changing it. And if you're somebody who knows that you should be able to change like the yucky, stucky stuff, this actually starts to do it. So
like when you feel like you're hitting your head against a brick wall, and you're just like, I should stop hitting my head against a brick wall. But hang on, I'm just going to keep doing it until clearing statement.
Boom. Okay, so I'm going to run through it. I'm going to run through the whole thing, tell you the short form for it, and then we're going to explain it because a lot of you think you need an explanation. And the funny part is a lot of you are going to start listening to the explanation and go, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to use it. Okay, so that's our point of view. Use it. We'll do our explanation, though, just for you because we know some of you have minds and we understand because we have minds too, or we used to. Something. So the clearing statement is this: right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. What? Aren't you glad that we said it?
Little boys in shorts, beyond, povad. What?
Whew. Okay, we will explain each part. If you just want to use the clearing statement, you can go through all that if you're inattentive like I am. Or you can just use the short form, which is POC and POD, which stands for going back to the point of creation or the point of destruction of any limited point of view you've taken, which allows you to go back to wherever it started, whether it was last week or 100 billion years ago, and allow it to dissolve by asking the consciousness of you to change it. That's POC and POD, that's the short form. So the clearing statement, once again, right and wrong, good and bad. Right and wrong, good and bad stands for what's right, good, perfect, and correct about this, what's wrong, terrible, bad, vicious, mean, and awful about it. And why is that? Because it's undoing the judgment, the positive and negative judgment that we use, because every point of view we have stuck anywhere has a positive and a negative form of judgment attached to it. And here's the interesting thing is like a negative judgment, when you have something negative where you're like, oh my God, I'm stupid, you're willing to at least work on that and change it, okay? It's the positive judgments that end up sticking us the most.
Oh my God, I have the best boyfriend in the world.
Oh, it's so right. My relationship is so perfect. Oh my God, yeah. Will you be my boyfriend? Oh shit, I got it wrong out there too. Shit, you know. Everything that brought up, POC and POD. But when we decide that we have something right, what we tend to do is we tend to hold it in place. We don't let it change because finally we got something right. So this is the first part of the clearing statement. And a lot of you know how dangerous, how detrimental judgment is. We're unlocking it with every point of view that we're clearing. So all of your negative judgments of you and all of your positive judgments of you that stick you even more than the negative judgments of you, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? And if that's a yes, then we run the clearing statement. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Oh, we almost did it together. That was so good. Okay, stereo clearing statement. You're welcome. Okay, so that's the beginning. So we have right and wrong, good and bad. POC and POD. You want to explain POC and POD?
Well, we explained POC and POD before. The point of creation, the point of destruction.
Boom. Okay, so for example, like the room that you're in, the wall looks solid, right? But science tells us this 99.9999999% space. It just looks solid. So at some point, somebody decided this is a wall, and now you can't walk through it. Well, what if the limitations in your life are exactly the same way? What if they look solid because we've decided they are? But in actuality, what if they're 99.999% space? Going back to the point of creation, of where we decided the limitation was real and solid and can't get through it, or the point of destruction, which is where we took space and turned it into a wall. If we can undo that, wherever it started, whether it was last week or 100 billion years ago, then we can undo that germinal point, that one place where we created a limitation that is still sticking us and we haven't been able to get to.
Can I give another example that might be a little bit naughty to everyone out there?
Naughty?
But point of creation and point of destruction, what if that's the day that you said, yes, I do, and you got married? You look at that as a point of creation, but what if that's also the point of destruction of you?
Ooh.
So all these choices that you make in life where you go, oh yes, I'm creating something, but in truth what you started doing is cutting you off. I'm not saying don't get married. I'm not saying don't do relationship. What I'm saying is look at every single choice you make and that pock and pod everywhere that you are destroying any part of you as you are creating.
And this is a beautiful thing if you just get that awareness for a moment of how many things that we decided were creative that were actually destructive to us. Guess what? The clearing statement helps you change it. So all of those places that you have chosen something that you were like, this is going to be a great point of creation of possibilities that was also a point of destruction of you. Will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
And that's a yes from you.
And from me. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Okay, and our hands move when the energy moves. Sorry, it's just one of those things. I don't know if you can even see our hands, but we have hands, and they move when the energy moves. Jazz hands. Okay, hello. Okay, so right, wrong, good and bad, pock and pod. All nine stands for 9 layers of this clearing statement. Now,
I don't even remember what they are.
I don't remember what they are either. And we were around and we were part of developing those 9 layers. We don't remember what they are. But it's basically like this, okay? What we're trying to do is we're trying to get the biggest scoop of horse poop out of the way for every time we run the clearing statement. Because we know if we get enough poop out of the way, we're going to find the pony called you under there somewhere.
Well, it was like, what if you made valuable? What if you made, all of these different things that
Right.
enter into it? Yeah.
What have you made valuable? What are you defending? Wow, that was interesting. Yeah, there were many aspects to what holds a limitation in place. That is the all 9. So all of those 9 layers, even if you don't know what they are, like we don't remember cognitively what they are, but energetically kind of have a dynamic impact. Will you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Ooh, baby.
I just want to add, we can't make you change anything. It's like, when we say you say yes, it's like you just have to nod your head. You just have to say yes. We can't make you change anything. Can anyone make you change anything? This is up to you. But as you use the clearing statement, I know what I found over the years, and so many people have found, everything just, you start to go, whoa, hang on a second. The solidity that you call your reality starts to dissipate.
So we have right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pod, all 9, shorts. Shorts stands for what's meaningful about this and what's meaningless about it. What are the punishments for this and what are the rewards for this? And what is the this we're talking about? Whatever we're clearing, whatever point of view you have. See, for every point of view that you take, for every point of view you have that's a limitation, why are you still holding on to it? Other than you've decided that there's some value to it, there's some reward you're going to get, or some punishment you're going to avoid, or something you made meaningful or tried to make meaningless about it. So, thing about meaningful and meaningless in the shorts is we know what happens when you make something meaningful, right? You make it significant. It's like, oh my God, it hurts. Okay, so we can understand that.
My feelings.
Did you see the way she looked at me?
Yes.
That. Meaningful. Okay? Now, meaningless is kind of interesting because with meaningless, we take something that we think is meaningful and we go, no, that's not meaningful to me. And we try to make it meaningless and we throw it out into the universe. It eventually rains down on our head like space debris. And my favorite story about this is Gary Douglas, the founder of Access. He is an Endian. He rolls his toothpaste very carefully from the end. Well, both of his ex-wives were people who squeezed the toothpaste in the middle. And so what would happen is he'd walk into the bathroom and he'd see them squeezing in the middle and he'd be like, ugh. Have you ever done that? You get cranky at somebody or angry
over the smallest thing.
The smallest friggin' thing, right? And what happens? The cranky amplifies over time. So he would try to make this meaningless because he's like, this has to be meaningless. I love them. Except it wasn't. He wasn't dealing with it. He was trying to make it meaningless when it was meaningful to him. So 6 months later, he would walk in and they would be squeezing the toothpaste and he would just lose it. Like, can't you squeeze the toothpaste down right? Whoa, where did I just go? What happened? Well, that's what happens when you try to make something meaningless. So we're clearing that in the clearing statement so that rather than trying to say, oh, it doesn't matter to me, you can actually be present with those things that actually do and change that entire energetic dynamic. So you're starting to see how this works, I'm sure. Okay. Some of you are probably about to stop the video because you're like, I get it. I don't need to understand it. Okay, good, which is great. But the last part of the shorts is the punishments and the rewards. We know what a punishment is. When you choose something and you're like, oh, it's going to hurt. They're going to punish me. The reward is usually like $10,000 on your head, dead or alive. So you're like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Okay, that's the other part of the shorts. So we have right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pod, all nine, shorts, boys, nucleated spheres. Have you ever done any clearing work where they said you had to peel the layers of the onion? And you peeled and you peeled and
as you
peeled.
tease and cry.
And then what happens? You finally break through a layer and you're like, yes, I finally achieved. And
then there's another one. There's
right
another
after,
layer.
like 3 minutes to 3 hours later, you found another one. It's because it's not actually an onion. It's an energetic structure called a nucleated sphere, which is part of the clearing statement because this is so big in those things that we try to change. And it's like a sphere with another one inside of it and another one inside of it and another one inside of it, like Russian nested dolls.
Boom, 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 boom.
But they never end. If you pop the outside one, what happens is it has nothing there for a moment and then boom, one grows to fill it in. And so how many onions have you been peeling in your various lifetimes in which you have been changing and then feeling like you didn't change? And basically you've been peeling and peeling and peeling and all you got were tears because it's actually not an onion, it's a nucleated sphere, which is designed to keep the limitation going indefinitely. Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Oh, baby. So, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pod, all nine, shorts, boys, povads. Povads are brand new. In fact, povads are the reason we're making this video. Friggin' povads. What's a povad?
Well, povads is all the points of view that you've been avoiding and defending. Oh my goodness, that's hardly anything, right? It's like this is literally changing my whole entire life and so many other people's. Because
Mine too.
If you look at any area of your life, and just even you can ask these simple questions of, you know, what have I been avoiding in regards to blah, whatever it is. It could be a person, it could be a topic like relationships, money, business, bodies, etc. Ask that. Then you can use the clearing statement, right? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. And also ask, what have I been defending in regards to whatever it is? Put it in there, okay? So it's everywhere that you've been avoiding and defending any points of view that you have. And how much of your entire life, probably not when you're little, but it's like, and then at some age, you start to buy into judgment and you start to buy into limitations. And then you start defending and you start avoiding. It's like, what if this could give you the freedom that you've actually been asking for and know exists?
Whew. Okay, so that's the povads. Beyonds. Have you ever gotten a bill that was like 10 or 100 or 1,000 times more than it was supposed to be? Or have you ever gotten a check that was way more than it was supposed to be and you freak out?
I don't deserve that.
That's beyond. Okay? Beyonds are beyond thoughts, feelings, and emotions. They are sensations that are beyond your ability to understand or cognify. New word. You're welcome.
I like it.
New word. Okay. Beyond your ability to cognify, make cognitive. And so the beyonds are things where they're the energetics of things that stick us. So how many beyonds do you have creating the beyonds, eternally beyond, that are still sticking you in being beyond rather than being here and being present? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Boom, shakalaka. So that, beautiful friends, is the clearing statement. I need to add one more thing. Notice that I have been asking you, will you please destroy and uncreate? What we're doing is we are destroying the structure, the wall, the prison cell you put around you. We're destroying that. And we're doing uncreate, which means, because in order to have that the prison cell around you maintained, the walls you put around us of our fixed points of view, in order for that to stay in existence, we have to contribute our creative energy to that instead of creation. So what we ask is, will you destroy and uncreate? Meaning, will you destroy the walls? Will you destroy the box you've been living in? Let it go and take your creative energy out of that so you have it for creation, for what you would actually like to create. So you don't have to put your creative energy into creating limitation anymore. So that's why we ask, will you please destroy and uncreate? And I know a lot of people out there are like, I don't want to destroy. Destruction is bad. But if you could destroy a disease, would you do that? Would you destroy the unconsciousness that created the disease? If you could destroy poverty in your life, would you do that? This is about destroying anything that is limiting you and destroying any limited point of view that you have that is limiting you.
And it has no judgment. I mean, if you look at nature, in nature, there's a whole lot of things that nature can only create once there is a level of destruction. I mean, a bushfire. It's like you have a bushfire, and it's like it destroys a whole lot of, plants, etc. But then new ones generate, different ones that can only generate when there has been the destruction. Access consciousness is what I knew I was looking for my entire life. I just couldn't find it for quite some time. It's like I always used to look outside and go, there's got to be something different. Like I'd watch the way people lived and be like, this doesn't make any sense. There has to be something different. So when I finally met you and Gary, I went, oh, this is what I've been looking for my entire life. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm in. But not like I'm in, like you have to join something. It's like you can use one tool and take it away and change so much stuff for your life. Or you can come and play and come to every single class you choose. It's your choice.
Your choice. And we're not going to harass you.
Nope.
No harassing involved. We know that you know. Follow your knowing. And what we're hoping is this clearing statement gives you the freedom to change a lot of the areas of life that may have been sticking you before now. And now you have this tool. Go ahead and use it. You can use long form. You can use short form, which is the POC and POD or POD and POC. And recognize that the change you may have always desired may now finally be within your grasp. And that is what we desire for you. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening. Go use POC and POD. Change your world. Mwah. See you soon. Bye-bye.